the grossest, sexy garbage. Don't go see this movie. This is disgusting. This movie should not exist.
Don't you judge me.
Hi everybody, it's Jackie Havey here. Welcome to the show, Makeup and Madness, a show where I do my makeup and then talk about some horrible fucking thing that apparently I love talking about horrible things that make people uncomfortable. If you're new here, hi, and thank you to everybody who watched my last video. I got like 30 hits and I was so excited, so I really appreciate that 30 people watched my last video. Because I'm a huge dork, you know? I don't need a lot of validation, just enough to get me by. Last week, we talked about Bob Rodella, the infamous Kansas City butcher killer guy. This week, I decided to do a movie review. I decided to do Wrong Turn 6 because the Wrong Turn series is having like a remake, reboot come out on the 23rd, and I kind of wanted to coincide with their release. So I just decided to grab on to like the last one and just be like, okay, we're gonna start from here. I really hope that this next piece of the franchise doesn't follow this movie because it's really pukey. Like I'm nauseous. I've been nauseous since 7 minutes into this movie. And it has nothing to do with gore or anything like that, but it is like, I'm sorry, spoiler alert, heavy incest movie. I keep telling myself, if Kendra JD can do a review on the movie Skins, which is about a girl with a butthole for a mouth, then I can gag my way through this piece of shit, okay? But I tell you what, I didn't realize that I would have to sacrifice so much. I never wanted to ever see this movie again. I blocked it out of my head, okay? I blocked it out. I really blocked it out of thinking it was the Wrong Turn franchise. I really did block that out, and I'm really upset with myself that I picked this movie. I could have picked the first one. I picked the sixth one because I thought this will definitely be a bad movie. I was kind of like, I can't believe I haven't seen this one yet. But actually, I had my brain tried to help me. My brain tried to protect me. But our road leads us back here. So here we are, 2014's Wrong Turn 6, The Last Resort, unrated. Directed by Valerie Malev. She's directed 4 other movies. Titles include Bullets of Justice, Code Red, Re-Kill, and We Die Young. And that's it. The writer is Frank H. Woodward. He wrote quite a few movies. There were so many of them. There's this huge list. I never heard of a single one before. So, movie opens in a picturesque, beautiful, calm, serene, wooded scene. This couple is biking on the trails, and the wife leads her husband to the hot springs.
It's warm. Of course. They're hot springs, you goop.
At approximately 2 minutes and 6 seconds into this movie, we see our first set of nude parts. They get shot with arrows. These are the common weapon of the Appies, the Appalachians. If you've seen any of the other movies, even just part of one, any of them before, you'd know that like they use the arrows, they like the hand axes, they like woodsy weapons. The scene ends with the husband getting shot through the back of the head with the arrow, and it comes out the front, and right in a huge close-up, the worst CGI blood I've ever seen in my entire life. Any kind of practical effect could have been done. It was so close up. I don't know. Then we are in a car driving somewhere. I guess it's in Virginia, West Virginia. They're driving around. It's our lead character, Danny.
Danny.
That's right, yeah.
His girlfriend, who's about as smart as a box of cornflakes. You could write her out of the whole movie. It wouldn't have mattered. It wouldn't have changed anything in the movie. There's 4 of them in the car, a couple of his guy friends, and then apparently there's another car full of some of their friends following behind them. So they're talking about, oh, you know, I've got this inheritance and I was an orphan. We have all this exposition explaining who these people are and alluding to different things, and you can already tell that the girlfriend's like, no, let's be careful.
Vic, get out of the car. I need a moment alone with my boyfriend.
The next scene, we see someone we've never seen before in the movie yet, serving some elderly women in what you assume is a nursing home. It's the hotel, and he's really aggressive, and he stabs this old lady's plate when she asks for something extra. Then you flash back to the friends, all Danny, the girlfriend. I didn't even learn her name. Girlfriend. Danny's girlfriend. That's about all she has nothing else about her besides, be careful, Danny, and I'm your girlfriend. That's it. Does not pass the Bechdel test, that's for sure.
Morty, do you know what the Bechdel test is? The what? For God's sake, Morty, the formula for measuring female agency in a story proposed by lesbian cartoonist Allison. What the hell are they teaching you in that school? Other stuff! Then you've killed us both! Why is lesbian part of her job title? Oh, now you're progressive? What is the test? You have to tell... Morty, 2 women. They both have to have names and talk to each other about something, Rick, other than a man.
Danny, girlfriend, friend.
Let's get naked.
You call this a spa? Get the idea?
Arrive at this hot springs mansion, castle-esque thing, but apparently it's a resort. So they go in, they meet these 2 people that are standing there that are the servants, I guess, that come with the mansion, come with the inheritance. And they're creepy. And the lady, I call her Weird Blonde in my notes, I actually call her WB. The lady's like all touching on Danny.
I believe that you're finally here. And who are you? Happy to show you around.
Well, we see a scene where we see like a disheveled looking woman putting on crazy makeup. And if you've seen my last video, when I was putting makeup on kind of crazy, like a crazy person in a movie, I'm sorry. It was the same scene. That scene of like a woman putting on makeup and it's being like that weird piano music. So I got that from somewhere. This is a weird trope out there, the crazy woman putting on the crazy lipstick, or like the crazy clown putting on the crazy clown makeup. Makeup is weird. We see her and that guy from the first scene with them being angry at the ladies in the nursing home that's actually a spa. He's in the room talking to her all suggestively, and then they start kissing. I believe it's at that moment when you really know that you're in for a really gross ride. They get in there and Danny's girlfriend is like just really uncomfortable with this whole place, uncomfortable with this woman touching her man.
And who are you?
She's really like freaked out, but she is just such a nag. and not a very good actress either.
I'm not impressed.
So Danny's girlfriend, at this point in the movie, she's talking to him like he has a brain injury or something, you know? I'm like, what the hell? Why is she talking to him like that? And then they show her unloading her suitcase, and it's full of like prescription pill bottles, and she sets them all out, you know? And then you see her bring him a handful of pills with a cup, you know, to drink, and he's just staring out the window. She brings him his pills, eats his pills, and then just continues to stare out the window. The next scene is the first time we see Danny wandering aimlessly through the house. He just wanders around this house, just looking at pictures and stuff. The friends are looking for him. Danny, where are you? They say that so much. Danny, where's Danny? Oh my god.
Have you guys seen Danny? Danny! Danny! We've been looking all over for you. Where's Danny?
The friends find him looking at some photographs and these very poorly photoshopped monstrosities that have been faded and sepia'd. And it's Danny. And it's the people that are like already there, being the butler and the maid or whatever. And it's like, look, that looks like your cousin. Like, there's just so many like weird little family double entendre jokes that they make. It's it's horrifying. It's horrifying. It's I don't know how you make a movie where you side with the incest people. They're the ones that are right. I don't understand. I don't understand, Harold. Is that the writer's name? I forgot. Frank Woodward. What is this piece of garbage that you wrote? Yeah, they're kind of setting up that like he is related to these people because he kind of looks like these people by using actual photographs of the actors, and they make him look all old-timey. Girlfriend is worried about Danny. She can't find him again, but she's like, help me find Danny, which is 75% of her role in this movie is talking to these people, asking them to help her find Danny because she can't find Danny. Can't find Danny. Can't find Danny. Where's Danny?
You need to go get Danny.
Now?
So they go looking for Danny. They find Danny, and he's looking at those pictures again. So his friends start joking about incest, and everybody looks so alike because of incest, and you know, Appalachians incest, blah blah blah, ha ha ha. Out of nowhere, like behind a curtain or something, jumps Jackson the butler, and he just gets in their face like, this is my family, we're proud of our heritage.
We've had all sorts stay here, including 3 presidents: Teddy Roosevelt, Calvin Coolidge, and Jefferson Davis. Not one had a complaint. Jefferson Davis.
And all through this rant, this butler at no point denies any of the incest. He just says he's really proud of his heritage.
Proud of my heritage.
The butler takes him down to the trophy and gun room. So we have a room that's full of deer heads on the walls. We see a bunch of old wooden guns.
Shit. Don't touch.
And this big old bow and arrow. And the butler's like encouraging Danny to touch it. Go ahead, hold it. See how it feels. And the girlfriend the whole time is saying like, no, don't do it, Danny. Don't do it. Don't. It just really annoyed me. It was so like, you're gonna take this stand right here in front of everybody right now. And so this scene was done in such a way that made me feel like she was trying to keep him tame. She was trying to keep him a city mouse. City mice don't kill things. City mice go to the store. She's like, she didn't want him to awaken the appetite for bloodlust. It almost seems like she doesn't want him to be a man, kind of. So that's what I was getting from that scene. That's what the director put in there. Judging by the rest of this movie, yeah, that's probably what it was. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't really care. Danny touches it, and he goes ahead and he's like, "Go ahead." Jackson's like, "Go ahead, pull it," and she's just like, "No, don't." He does it anyway. And it was like a stupid power struggle that I'm just like, okay, she's the voice of reason. So the next scene is Danny out in the woods hunting with Jackson the butler. Like immediately after, she's like, "Don't do it." They're like out there doing it. They're hunting. They're out hunting. He's like, that butler. He's like, "We're going hunting right now. Right now. That woman is not going to castrate you." Jesus Christ. They're out there, and this scene is kind of weird. They keep cutting back and forth between Danny and the butler, and what seems to be is not revealed until the end as the Appies, the three Appies. So it's like Danny and the butler are hunting, and then somewhere else in the forest, the Appies are hunting as well. And so every time that the butler tells Danny anything, it's sort of like corner your prey or like set the trap or whatever. And it's like they're sitting there in a deer blind. You know, they're kind of like squaring up this deer or something. And then, but also in another part of the wood, a tree has been cut down, and the sheriff is coming up against this blockage in the road and gets out of his car, and then he's like, "Line up your shot," and it's like, you know, you kind of see bows and arrows like lining up, and then he like lets the bow go to hit the deer, and like when it goes through, and at the end it hits the sheriff like right in the solar plexus. You see the deer, and like this deer that they had in this scene was really, really sad. The deer's not dead, and it's like sitting up kind of, and it kind of is still moving its head a lot. That Jackson was gonna go over and slice its neck, and Danny says don't, or he's like, "Fine, you do it then." So he makes Danny go and slit the thing's throat, and it's obviously like a humane thing. The deer's really sad. Yeah, and the Appies finish off the sheriff too. So while hunting, Danny tells Jackson a bit of exposition that he was like in Wall Street or something, investor or something, and then he, I guess, couldn't take the pressure, and he had a nervous breakdown and lost all his friends' money. These same friends that are with him at his new hotel place that he inherited. So one of the nondescript white boy friends is out walking around the woods, around the spa, and he sees one of the Appies on all fours taking a bite out of a caribou. And he gets freaked out and like screams, and then the Appie runs after him through the woods, and he's running, and he runs into Danny, and they roll down a hill and get ensnagled by some razor wire. Friend, you know, helps Danny get out, but he cut his legs pretty bad. So they get back to the house. WB, she gets right in there doing the nursey thing, you know, she's just all up in there.
Gotta get you out of those bloody things.
And she's rubbing this weird stuff on it. He's all like, "What is that?" She's like, "Oh, it's my own recipe."
I do make it myself.
I don't know what her accent is. It's like kind of southern, kind of not southern. She's been kind of coming on to him, and he's kind of like, I don't think she's being subtle, but he's just like, she's friendly. That's just a friendly woman. She's a friendly woman. It's because the girlfriend's been bitching about it the whole fucking time. At one point, she tries to take his clothes off, and he refuses. He insists and does it anyway. No means no, okay? Like, it doesn't matter that you're a chick. If a dude says, "Don't take my clothes off," don't take his fucking clothes off, okay? This is 2021. Apparently girls can be rapey too. Isn't that awesome? Don't you love equality? And she is like coming on to him hard, all breathy, like in his face. And yeah, she's like, you can have anything you want.
You can have anything you want.
And then his girlfriend walks in and she is pissed. The whole time when that girl's trying to get on him, she appears to be wiping the blood off his face for like a full fucking 5 minutes of this scene. And no blood on his face is wiped off at all. He tries to get on his girlfriend. She's like, ew, no, you're covered in blood. And what is this weird shit all over you? He's like, it's a native salve. And she's like, you're gonna get an infection, dude.
What is all over your legs?
Oh, it's ointment. It's a family formula.
God, you're gonna get infected.
I kind of was thinking the same thing. Like, do they even wash their hands? Never saw anyone wash their hands this whole movie. Not the cook, not nobody. Meanwhile, WB apparently had never left the room. I guess she was hiding in the room the whole time. They didn't know it. Kind of, sort of. It seems like maybe kind of behind a curtain. These two, Danny and girlfriend, they make the beast with two backs. But she is standing there watching. And not only is she watching, but she is touching herself very passionately. And she's kind of loud. And they like never notice her. Most of the sex scenes in this movie seem pretty unsatisfactory. So the next scene we see Danny. He's gathered all his friends into the big dining room, and he tells them he's so excited he's going to redo this hotel and he's going to make it a burgeoning success again, and he's going to big business idea to these investors that he just lost all his money for, who were looking at him like. And everybody's pretty much like treating him with kid gloves because he had a nervous breakdown.
No, we're really happy for you, hon.
So everybody just placates him. They're like, his girlfriend's like, whatever you want, Danny, whatever you think is best. And then the friends all do the same. They're like, ugh. But then they're like, well, I guess we could see a business plan. Slut drags this guy out in the hall and is like, what the fuck are you doing? You know, just like, I don't know what else to do. She's like, well, don't give him any more money. Meanwhile, subplot of all this is that she's like an antiques expert, and she like goes through the house and tries to steal a bunch of these like figurines, and the boyfriend gets in on it too. And it's kind of hilarious because when she's like putting the stuff in she's just like taking these porcelain things, these little figurines, and putting them in her big old bag, like her big purse.
These are perfect.
Then she just throws like another one on top of it and another one on top of it. Like she doesn't wrap it or try to take care at all. She's like, this one's worth such and such amount of money. And then she just like clinks it in there. Every clink I'm like, well, that's $1,000 off, and there's $1,000 off. Like, you know what these antiques are, but you don't know how to handle antiques at all, that you basically just turn something valuable into garbage. Dumb fucking slut. There's one in every one of these movies. So these two idiots stumble upon a hidden door, like in the bookcase, that goes down into the weird dungeony basement. Leads down to this weird subterranean altar, Illuminati style circular theater type of room. In the middle of this room there's like what looks like a gynecological chair, but it's like dirty, leathery kind of grossness.
What the hell is that?
And the guy is like, "Hey, what's that?" And she's like, "I think I know." And she goes and plops right down in it and plops her legs right up in it.
Get the idea?
It was sort of a good sex scene, kind of, but then like you see the appies behind him. They kill him, and then they kill her too. They kill her by ripping her legs off. Which is fitting, I think, for her character. Oh, the guy, he's not dead. He has a very severe head injury. He has a hole in his head. It's nasty, and he's disabled mentally at this point. Weirdo blonde, and she takes him to her room, and she's playing with him, and she's trying to fuck him. And her brother comes in. You tell her you're supposed to remain pure. You know that. You know that we have an agreement. You know how it is. You're not supposed to be doing this stuff. And she thanks him, but then he's like, "This is your mess. You need to clean it up." So she smothers the guy with a pillow, but instead of just holding it with her hand, she gets on top of it and straddles it, and proceeds to appear to have an orgasm while she's killing this guy. At this point, we can tell that Danny is starting to shift his alliance away from his friends and more towards this newfound family. It's, this struggle that has been going on since the beginning of the movie between the girlfriend's control of him and this new family. I mean, she started in the fucking car on the way there, already being like, "Well, we don't know what it's gonna be like, Danny."
I need a moment alone with my boyfriend.
Danny and girlfriend get in a fight. Surprise, surprise. Friend overhears Jackson, the butler, saying that he had to show Danny something alone. He takes him to the Appalachian village where all his relatives are. So they give him some moonshine. And he starts to hallucinate. They end up finding the friend that followed him into the woods. They string him up upside down. They slash his throat so his blood drains out. They get a bowl and they catch some of the blood and they give it to Danny, and I think he's so messed up on moonshine already. He goes ahead and takes it, but then he coughs, he gags, he throws up. And WB starts coming on hard. She's coming on hard, she's coming at him fast. And she is taking full advantage of the magic of the mountain moonshine. He starts hallucinating that she's his girlfriend, and they start dancing around the fire, and things get really crazy, hot, and heavy. And it looks like they boink. It honestly looks like they boink right there in front of everybody. She takes her top off and is humping him. So the next morning, Danny shows up back at the hotel. His girlfriend is waiting there, all worried and flustered.
What the hell happened to you?
As well as his friends. They urge him to leave. They're like, "Look, I don't know where you were last night, but there was some weird guy at the door banging all night." And Danny's just oblivious and he's still kind of drunk, it seems like. He's just like, "Whatever, there was no guy. I don't know what you're talking about. Let's party." And he tries to get on the girlfriend, but he's still all covered in blood. And then he turns around to go fall down on the couch, and it looks like he shit his pants. The friends, except for Danny, go to the kitchen, see what's cooking. And they kind of sneak it and look, and it's Jackson frying up some meat. And they look and they can see on the table that it's legs. And it looks like the kind of legs that you get like at the Halloween party store that are like in plastic wrap, like you're buying a piece of meat and it's like a foot in there. It was like that cheesy. They turn around, they see their friend's face in the freezer, and they freak out and they start screaming and running. And then, you know, the Appies are after them, running through the house, throwing axes at them. They end up killing the friend with the glasses. His death was pretty magnificent, I gotta tell you. They take a fire hose, they're holding him down. They take a fire hose and they stick it in his mouth. They turn it on. He's like, and then they take it out of his mouth and stick it up his ass. And his stomach is real big and it explodes. It explodes. Weirdo blonde WB, she corners the girlfriend in that basement sex operating theater. WB yells, "Don't judge me," and she does it in such a way, it's like, it's terrifying. Judge me. Honestly, it was like the best thing I'd seen from her in this movie. The girlfriend has the rifle. I didn't see her check to see if it was loaded. Girlfriend, instead of shooting her with the gun, takes the rifle and like beats her with it. They're fighting, and there's like this kind of hot spring outlet. WB is trying to force girlfriend's face into it, and she's like, you know, we'll see how you look. Hot spring takes your pretty face off, or something like that.
You want to see what fat water does to that pretty face?
Girlfriend flips it and reverses it, puts that WB's head right in that flaming, in that hot straight out of the spring water, and screaming and convulsive sort of looking movements ensue. And WB comes at her again, and she finally shoots her twice with a rifle in the stomach. So Danny runs to WB. He runs to her side and then looks at the girlfriend like, girlfriend did this to her. Like, girl, he didn't see the beginning of the fight, so he doesn't know what happened. And then Danny looks up at girlfriend and says, "I told you to leave." At no point did he ever tell her to leave. She'd been wanting to leave, and he was just like, "No, I want to stay." I do not remember him ever saying, "I told you to leave." So he's got no right to yell. So Jackson grabs the girlfriend. He puts the hunting knife to her throat, and he's gonna kill her. And Danny's like, "No, she's mine. She's my problem. Let me do it." So he like tosses her over to Danny, gives him the knife. He's like, "Do it." But Danny lets her go. He just says, "Run," lets her go. So Jackson, the butler, gets real mad, and he runs after girlfriend. He gets her, grabs her, throws her to the ground, and she ends up beating his ass, beating his face to a pulp with his own keys. The next scene, Danny pulls a gun on the girlfriend. And he's like, "I told you to leave." Now this time that's legit. He did just tell her to leave. You see the three Appies come up behind her, and then she gets axed to the dome. So the next scene we see, and we see a bustling, busy hotel, and Danny is there, and he is being like the GM, the general manager of the hotel, like walking around and like, "How's your stay? How's your stay?" Being a total fucking simp. Oh my god. Such a lick spittle, such a company man.
Hey guys, how are you? Find the place okay? Welcome to Hilliker Springs. Just you wait until you've experienced our hot springs. Boy, you're there to die for. Now, go find your rooms, okay? Enjoy your stay.
And we're led to believe this is his hotel. We're seeing this refurbishment that he had been saying he was going to do with his friends. We're not dead, all of them. We see him slip away down to the basement with the weird fuck theater. And we see WB, who I'm sure we all assumed was dead. We see her, she's in a wheelchair. She's missing part of her leg, and she's all burned in the face. And he, in the middle of the day during a work day, he slips away to go down to the fuck theater, and she gets up on that stupid gross stirrup thing with her, and he tells her they can keep trying as long as it takes for her to get pregnant. And he like knows that he's related to her, and it's the middle of the workday. This movie was so gross. It was so gross. It was so gross. That's the end of the movie. I mean, I don't even know what to say about how horrible this movie is. I mean, the scene where they're all having fun at the campfire in the Appalachian village. They go on a long tirade about why incest is good, about why, it's a bunch of really gross white people sitting around talking about how important it is to keep the bloodline pure while they're surrounded by all these people with these very obvious disabilities, deformations, and diseases.
Well, howdy do there, ma'am.
These people were so stupid they couldn't see the irony staring them in the face. I hated this movie. I hated it. This movie worldwide grossed $380,493. Do you remember what I said at the beginning what it cost? $1,200,000. I think I know why. Is because anybody that went to see this movie came out of it gagging and telling their friends, don't go see this movie. If I had $1 million, I sure wouldn't spend it on making a movie like this.